In the beginning there was nothing, and God looked at nothing and said, "This is inefficient." So he created light, then land, then water, then plants, then animals. Everything worked perfectly. And after 6 days of creating everything that would later need a user manual, God rested, which is ironic because humanity had not yet begun. Then came Adam. Adam was perfect, which meant he had no idea what he was doing. God placed him in a garden where food grew without effort, animals obeyed without protest, and nothing ever broke. It was paradise, and Adam was bored. So God made Eve, and Eve was curious, which, as history would later confirm, is humanity's most expensive feature. God gave them one rule, just one. "Everything here is yours," God said, "except that tree." And humans, being humans, immediately translated that as, especially that tree. The serpent arrived with no legs, no resume, and no reason to be trusted. And yet he spoke confidently, which remains humanity's greatest weakness. Did God really say that? He asked. The oldest trick in existence? Question the rule, suggest manipulation, let humans do the rest. They ate the fruit and suddenly gained knowledge, which mostly meant shame, anxiety, and the sudden urge to cover themselves. This is still how knowledge works. God returned and asked questions he already knew the answers to. "Adam, where are you?" Adam replied, "I was afraid." Fear entered the world, along with excuses. God sighed, the first divine sigh in history. They were removed from the garden, not because God hated them, but because humans, once curious, cannot unknow. Generations passed. Humanity multiplied. So did bad ideas. Cain killed Abel, proving that even perfect parents can raise wildly different children. Humans invented cities, tools, music, and war. Then God met Noah. Noah was righteous, which meant he was the only one listening. God said, "I regret this." And when an all-knowing being says that, things have escalated. So God sent a flood, a hard reset. Noah built an ark. People laughed, which is humanity's default response to warnings that require effort. The rain came. The laughter stopped. The ark floated. Lesson learned. Being early feels stupid. Being late feels fatal. After the flood, God promised never to do that again. Not because humans improved, but because God knew they'd find other ways. Then came Abraham. God said, "Leave your home." Abraham said, "Okay." God said, "Trust me," which is how faith usually begins, with confusion and a calendar that disagrees. Then came Moses, raised by royalty, angry at injustice, bad at public speaking, which proved God does not hire based on resumes. The sea parted, they crossed, and immediately complained, because freedom excites people for about 5 minutes. Then they want structure and snacks. God gave commandments. Humans broke them. God forgave. Humans repeated the process. Then came kings. Some were wise, most were proud. David killed a giant and couldn't manage his own household. Solomon had wisdom and 700 wives, which taught us that intelligence does not equal restraint. Prophets warned the people ignored them. Eventually, God tried something new. He came himself, quietly, no palace, no army, just a baby. And when he spoke, he told stories about love, forgiveness, humility. People found these impractical. He healed the sick, fed crowds, and challenged power, which guaranteed one ending. He was betrayed, mocked, and executed by people certain they were right. 3 days later, surprise, no fireworks, just an empty tomb and confused witnesses. Because truth doesn't need spectacle, it needs time. The message spread through imperfect people, which made them perfect messengers. And now, thousands of years later, here we are, still questioning instructions, still chasing forbidden fruit, still asking for signs. The Bible is not about perfect people. It's about almost obedient, almost faithful, almost listening, and a God who keeps showing up anyway. The dark joke is this: humanity fails consistently, God responds patiently, and somehow we're still here.